I want to talk about Joe Manchin just briefly. Joe Manchin, in addition to, I mean, if you had any, I don't know, does anybody have any doubt at this point who Joe Manchin works for? Joe Manchin, when he's not sinking Joe Biden's agenda, when he's not preventing families from getting tax credits for their children, when he is not out there saying that we don't want electric cars. Put up David Dayen's tweet first. He was out there. This is a comment that he made about electric cars.
Oh, yes.
Catherine Rampel reports that Joe Manchin said in a SP Global Commodity Insider thing.
Interview.
Love those guys.
I'm very reluctant to go down the path of electric vehicles, Manchin said. I'm old enough to remember standing in line in 1974 trying to buy gas. I remember those days. I should say I also remember those days. I was 8. I remember the lines. I don't want to have to be standing in line waiting for a battery for my vehicle because now we're dependent on a foreign supply chain, mostly China. Well, first off, don't wait in line for a battery for your vehicle. Although I guess there are like in Israel, they were testing out like the idea of swapping out batteries.
They have that with bikes here in New York too. So
swap out batteries. The other thing we could do is build some factories in this country,
yes,
and deal with these issues of foreign supply chain. But what's interesting is the price of gas is going through the roof because we are, in some measure, dependent on a foreign market, on an international market.
His point is that, no, it's time to actually just reinvest in coal, which wouldn't benefit me whatsoever. So I'm just making that point. Just because intellectually, it makes the most sense.
Maybe what we need to do is go back to that thing where you shovel the coal into the back of your car. You just make the trunk a furnace, and you just keep shoveling coal in there. But just in case you thought for a brief moment that the reason why Joe Manchin says something like this is just because he's an idiot. Or he's a little bit old-fashioned. There's old-fangled battery things like I can't even get my iPhone to charge. Joe Manchin has effectively sunk the nomination of Sarah Bloom Raskin at the Federal Reserve. There was no Republican support. Joe Manchin came out, announced yesterday that he would not support Sarah Bloom Raskin because she has spoken out about the Fed's responsibility to be hyper-focused, to be a regulator of sorts. The Fed, of course, regulates a lot of this stuff with climate change in mind. Now, there are a lot of people on the Fed who have said similar things. She wrote an op-ed about it. And she has been a little bit more vocal about it. And apparently, she was just someone that the fossil fuel industry did not want to have on the board. Here is Senator Brown on Senator Manchin's opposition to the Raskin nomination and his ties to the fossil industry. This is a tweet. Emma, you want to?
Sure. Christian Hall, I guess, spoke to, so is the Sherrod Brown here. I don't generally question my colleagues' motivation, but on this, it's so in your face, you can't not see it on Manchin's opposition to this particular nomination because of his personal investment and donations from the fossil fuel industry.
Well, he doesn't say that. That was your editorial.
Oh, yes, yes.
But Brown says you can't not see it. Well, you also can't not hear it. I remind you of a video that was taken. Do you have that video? This is from, what number is this? This is from an undercover operation that was done by, was it, who did it? It was Greenpeace UK. They posed as headhunters, like corporate headhunters, and set up a meeting with a former Exxon executive who was outlining what he did for Exxon and what they did strategy-wise. And he said, we would do dark money into peace, nothing illegal, but we would fund, fake grassroots things, et cetera, et cetera. And we also would work the U.S. Congress. It's like fishing. He started to say, you cast your line, you see who bites, and now you know who's your fish. And he goes on to talk about who was the whale, the kingfish, as you were. Go ahead, let's play this.
Chief and say, look, we've got this issue. We need Congressman so-and-so to be able to either introduce this bill. We need him to make a floor statement. We need him to send a letter. Yeah. You name it. We've asked for everything.
So who are the fish?
I'm Joe Manchin. I approve this act because
the biggest catch, according to Mr. Coy, it's the conservative Democrat Senator Joe Manchin, who famously shot President Obama's cap-and-trade climate bill.
And I'll take dead aim at the cap-and-trade bill.
Joe Manchin, I talk to his office every week. He is the kingmaker, and he's not shy about sort of staking his claim early and completely changing the debate.
Legal declarations show that Senator Manchin has received tens of thousands of dollars
let it go.
from ExxonMobil and its trade associations. Keith McCoy names 10 other senators as crucial to ExxonMobil. Senators Mark Kelly, Chris Coons, Shelley Moore Capito, Kirsten Sinema, John Tester, Maggie Hassan, John Barrasso, Steve Daines, John Cornyn, and Marco Rubio. All bar Kelly and Hassan have taken money from Exxon totaling $117,000. We gave all these senators a chance to respond. None did so.
That is shocking. Okay. And, but there it is. So I guess it's really hard not to see and hear that, according to
Sherrod
Manchin's,
Brown.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, like,
colleagues.
that's right. That's something that Democrats don't typically want to say that about their colleagues in these situations, but Manchin's just so egregious. There you go. And that's Jamie Raskin's wife, is it not?
Is that? I don't know if it is.
Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Almost positive.
Just a note, Joe Manchin drives a Maserati Levant that gets up to 16 miles per gallon in the city, and the base price is $80,000.
Well, to be fair, he's not waiting in line for anything. I'm sure he sends out his staffers, fill her up